Oh hey, I finally got to start to make a living by talking about the hardest games of all time. All I gotta do is just do a quick Google, and here we go. Well, I already talked about Cuphead, so let's take a look at the others here. Well, most of these games I couldn't afford, or I don't know, I don't have the appropriate systems to play them on. Ninja Gaiden 2. I don't have Ninja Gaiden 2, but what I do happen to own is Ninja Gaiden on the Virtual Console. Well, it's close I get to playing the original on an official Nintendo console, so might as well try it out. But first, let's take a little history lesson. Ninja Gaiden is a hack and slash side-scroller platform video game developed and published by Tecmo. Tecmo first announced the Famicom version of the game in the January 15, 1988 issue of Family Computer magazine under the title Ninja Gaiden, which would later be used for the game's American version. I found this on Chris Covell's website, and I recommend going through his website. You can find a ton of info about NES and Famicom games in their early stages that were only exclusive in Famimagas, or Family Computer magazines. It was developed and released around the same time as its arcade version of the same name, but neither were direct ports of each other. According to developer Masato Kato, who is known for penning the script of Chrono Trigger, as well as other RPG titles like Xenogears, Chrono Cross, and Final Fantasy VII and XI, the term ninja was gaining popularity in North America, so Tecmo decided to develop a ninja-related game for the NES at the same time the arcade version was being developed. This was Masato Kato's first full-time project as a video game designer. The game was released in Japan on December 9, 1988, with North America on March 13, 1989, and the PAL version on August 15, 1991. Alright, let's finally play a game. Well, as you can see, I'm playing this game on 3DS, which is played through the Virtual Console, which has save states, have assault variability. Whatever, it's time for it. Let me tell you, this looks amazing for a game in the late 80s. The amazing graphics and soundtrack. It is also one of the few NES games to have fully animated cutscenes. While they're not as common these days, these are pretty fun to watch. Let's talk about the gameplay. We play as a ninja named Ryu Hayabusa. You mean Ryu from Street Fighter? His father's name is Ken. Okay, Ryu and Ken. How can you not think of Street Fighter when you hear those names? Or were we? Now, as you may notice, this game is incredibly different from its arcade counterpart. The arcade version is more so another Double Dragon, whereas here you have a more traditional side-scroller. You attack using a katana. You can also attack while jumping or in midair as well. You can use your secondary weapons like shurikens, fireballs, and boomerangs by holding up on the D-pad and pressing the B button. Though every time you use them, they'll drain your spiritual strength. You can regain your spiritual strength by collecting red and blue spiritual strength items, found in lamps and lanterns by attacking them. Much like in Castlevania, where you destroy the said objects to obtain hearts and power-ups. You can jump on and off walls, but you can't attack in this state. You can jump off walls by holding the D-pad in the opposite direction you're facing and pressing the A button. There are 6 acts in total that comprise 20 levels, each harder than the last. The story is as follows. Ryu's father, Ken, was killed in a duel. After the duel, Ryu receives a letter from Ken which tells him to find an archaeologist named Walter Smith in America. So Ryu goes to America to avenge his father and find Walter Smith. Before he can find Walter, he is shot and kidnapped by a young woman who later hands him a demonic-looking statue before releasing him. Ryu finds Walter, who tells him about the demon statues he and Ken had found in the Amazon ruins. There are 2 demon statues, Light and Shadow. With the 2 statues combined, they can transform into Jashin, or Jason if you will, the evil demon that Shinobi defeated. So during their conversation, a masked figure steals the shadow figure. Ryu chases him down, retrieves the statue, returns, finds that Walter is dying, and the light statue is missing. Three men confront Ryu and take him to an interrogation room where he meets Foster, head of the Special Auxiliary Unit of the CIA. Foster explains to Ryu that someone under the name Hakyo? I'm calling him bad guy. So Foster asks Ryu to go to the temple and eliminate him. Ryu finds bad guy holding captive the young woman from earlier. Ryu then drops from sight through a trapdoor and into a catacomb. Ryu encounters Bloody Malt. Ryu beats him, and as he is dying, Malt reveals that he was the one who dueled with Ryu's father and that he is still alive. So he reaches the temple's inner chambers. He finds his father possessed by some evil figure. Ryu destroys it to save Ken. Bad guy tries to kill Ryu, but Ken throws himself to save Ryu. Ken is slowly dying. Ryu kills bad guy. A lunar eclipse occurs. Jashin returns. Ryu kills Jashin but gets it pretty badly. Ken tells Ryu to leave him and take the woman instead. Foster orders the girl to kill Ryu, but she chooses not to. The two kiss. Happy ending. Alright, let's finally play the game. The enemies immediately respawn after you kill them when they're on the edge of the screen. The enemy placement is the worst. There's little to no space where you can land, attack, or be safe. There are bosses at the end of each act. The first few bosses are quite manageable. I use the term manageable because you are guaranteed to get hit multiple times. Yeah, you get hit by everything. Soldiers, Mike Tyson, birds, dogs, bats. There are 3 final bosses. The first boss is manageable once you get used to its attack pattern. The second boss, however, is a different story. The fireballs never miss. They'll follow you wherever you go. There's no escape. And also the second boss takes a while to die. While it may sound like it, there is still an attack pattern, so there's still a chance you can still progress, says the guy who's playing on a virtual console. Next, you fight a giant xenomorph looking shrimp. Its attacks spread around the screen, and what's worse is that the final boss is easier than the second boss. Not to mention, the levels in this act are just random. It has so many random enemy placements. You have little or no platform to stand on. You can fall off easily, and the amount of enemies attacking you, that's bullshit. Alright, that's one of the list. What else is there? Oh, that's one way to break a person. Oh hey, I was thinking of taking a break from playing challenging games, which is why I decided to play Bruce Lee Quest of the Dragon. It is the 6th generation of gaming. We begin with Sega getting an early lead with the release of the Dreamcast, but later on it didn't do well enough to beat its other competitors. The PlayStation 2 outperformed its other competitors in this generation and soon became the best-selling console of all time. Nintendo released the Nintendo GameCube, and while the GameCube did better than the Dreamcast, it didn't do well enough to outshine the PS2. But there was one other company that stepped in the video game ring, one that changed the industry forever. Microsoft. To this day, Microsoft is well known for its operating system, Windows. On October 25, 2001, Microsoft released Windows XP and it gave huge success. But that was also during the reign of the PS2. Microsoft considered the PS2 a threat to the personal computer in the living room space. Consoles in this generation are getting closer to being as powerful as a PC, so Microsoft had to compete somehow against the PS2. The company decided to make their own video game console instead, and later that year, the Xbox was finally released. But you see, in order to compete against the PlayStation 2, you also need a great library of exclusive games and not just a powerful console. You also need Shrek. The Xbox was released with 20 launch titles in North America, 12 launch titles in Japan, and 19 in Europe, one of which is the saving grace of the Xbox brand, Halo. Halo Combat Evolved was developed by Bungie. Before Microsoft acquired Bungie, the company concentrated on making video games for the Macintosh during its early days. Concerns were made during the development of Halo. one of which was being able to play a first-person shooter with a controller. Playing first-person shooters with a controller was nothing new at the time, but it happens very rarely. Sure, we got Doom and Wolfenstein, but those games were tailor-made for the PC in mind. So with Halo being a first-person shooter and only playable with a controller at the time, this is new territory. In order to make it to the release, the team had to make cuts to the game's features. The open world plans were scrapped, they reused some of the campaign levels, there was an online multiplayer feature built in, but it was dropped and rebuilt from scratch because the Xbox Live wasn't a thing at the time. Through many efforts and low amounts of sleep, the game was able to release alongside the Xbox on November 15, 2001. While Halo was not an instant runaway success on release, the game sold alongside more than 50% of every Xbox console. Halo received universal acclaim and many great review scores. And even to this day, Halo is considered one of the greatest games of all time. So let's try this game out and see why is it so great. To start off, I'm not the biggest Halo fan. The first Halo game I played was Halo Reach, which is lore-wise the first Halo game. So I have some connection to the franchise. Anyway, let's play Halo Combat Evolved. We'll start with the campaign since that's the reason why I want to play and talk about this game. And since we'll be playing as Master Chief, I gotta get into character. So we begin with a little tutorial about the controls. I'm using Halo Custom Edition, which allows me to play using either a keyboard and mouse or a standard controller. Both of them have great controls, but I'm more of a controller guy. No! Tutorial man! Anyways, we gotta go to the bridge to meet Captain Keyes. Yes, that's his name.
Sleep well?
I have no recollection whatsoever.
So you did miss me.
What did I just say?
With all due respect, sir, this war has enough dead heroes.
I appreciate your concern, Cortana, but it's not up to me. The protocol is clear. Destruction or capture of a shipboard AI is absolutely unacceptable, and that means you're leaving ship. Lock in a selection of emergency landing zones, upload them to my neural lace, and then sort yourself for a heart transfer.
Aye, aye, sir.
Which is where you come in, Chief. Get Cortana off this ship. Keep her safe from the enemy. If they capture her, they'll learn everything. Force deployment, weapons research, Earth.
Huh?
Yank me.
Good luck, Master Chief.
So now we have Cortana inside our suit and now we have to escape the ship. You barely get any additional ammo for a rifle and pistol throughout the whole game, so what you want to do is to pick up the enemy's weapons. Every weapon in the game is really good. I like the plasma rifle, which you can get by being the armored guys. The standard grunt aliens are nothing special and they carry either the needler or the plasma pistol. The same goes for the aliens carrying shields.
Sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
Lady, I've been sitting my butt in a pod for 20 days, I need a warm-up. Alright, we've crash landed and I'm the only one that survived, great. If you're on a plane that's about to crash, stand up, you have a 100% survival rate if you do. Anyway, we gotta search for some survivors. On the way we discover some alien hideouts and infrastructures. The best part of this mission is driving the Warthog. Compared to your normal racing games, every vehicle in the game accelerates by pushing the left thumbstick forward. To turn around, you move the camera with the right thumbstick. Also, you can get a marine with you for some vehicles. So we rescued a bunch of marines and now we gotta rescue Captain Keyes. On to the next mission, we now have to board the alien ship where Captain Keyes is being held. Stealth is an option here, do not do it, it's not fun. So we board the alien ship and fight our way through.
Coming here was reckless. You two know better than this. Thanks. Marines! Lock and load your weapons. Let's be ready to move. While the Covenant had us locked up in here, I overheard the guards talking about this ring world. They call it Halo.
One moment, sir. Accessing the Covenant BattleNet.
According to the data in their networks, the ring has some kind of deep religious significance. If I'm analyzing this correctly, they believe that Halo is some kind of weapon, one with vast, unimaginable power.
That's bad news. If Halo is a weapon, and the Covenant gain control of it, they'll use it against us and wipe out the entire human race. Chief, Cortana, I have a new mission for you. We need to beat the Covenant to Halo's control room. Marines, let's move!
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Chief, you have the point.
Alright, now that we know Halo is a super weapon, we need to get out this ship. So we escaped the ship and now we have a new mission. We gotta get to the Silent Cartographer, which is a map room for Halo.
Somebody order a warthog.
Hey, I didn't know you made house calls for Hammer.
You know our motto. We deliver. I'm hit! Mayday! Mayday! Airport weapon is shot to hell! I can't hold her! I can't hold on!
Echo 419!
The best part of this mission is driving through an entire island in a warthog. Well, not the entire island, cause there are areas that you can't access with a warthog. There are multiple ways to progress and clear areas, so that sounds like a lot of fun.
There. That holo panel should activate the map. Analyzing. Halo's control center is located there. That structure appears to be some sort of temple or shrine, if I've interpreted this correctly. Interesting. A shrine is an unlikely place to put such a significant installation.
Cortana to Captain Keyes. The captain has dropped out of contact, Cortana. His ship may be out of range or having equipment problems.
Alright, we have access to the map. Now we gotta get out of here, find the control room, and rescue Captain Keyes again. He really put himself in a lot of trouble, huh? Twice? This mission has a lot of variety. You can use every weapon and vehicle in the game. You can even use a tank, I didn't find it. But this mission takes a while to finish. Areas are repeated throughout the mission and sometimes it's easy to get lost, so it can get very repetitive.
That terminal, try there.
You alright?
Never been better. You can't imagine the wealth of information. The knowledge, so much, so fast. It's glorious.
Number 15. Burger King foot lettuce.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I meant the limited edition Halo onion ring.
This ring isn't a cudgel, you barbarian. It's something else. Something much more important. The Covenant were right. This ring... it's Forerunner. Give me a second to access. Yes, the Forerunner built this place, what they called a fortress world, in order to... Wait. No, that can't be. Oh, those Covenant fools. They must have known. There must have been signs.
Are we talking about Halo or the Halo onion ring?
The Covenant found something. Buried in this ring, something horrible, and now they're afraid.
What?
Captain, we've got to stop the captain.
At least explain.
This cash he's looking for, it's not really... We can't let him get inside.
Lady, you're being scary right now.
There's no time. Get out of here, find Keyes, stop him. Before it's too late!
Alright. Why is everything so dark and scary all of a sudden? On the way to the facility, we encountered the Covenant running away from something. I wonder what it is. It's so quiet. What happened here?
Stay back! Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those things!
I'm not a wizard,
blow your
Marine.
brains out! Get away from me! Ah! Ah! Don't touch
You're
me,
wasting your
freaks.
ammo.
I'll be like you, I'll die.
What was that?
Right, well, let's get this door open.
I'll try, sir, but it looks like these Covenant worked pretty hard to lock it down.
Just do it, son.
Yes, sir. I got a bad feeling about this.
Boy, you always got a bad feeling about something.
Sarge, can you hear me?
What's going on, soldier?
We've got contacts, lots of them, but they're not Covenant. They're just tearing through us. What the? Oh no!
Corporal, do you copy? Over. Mendoza, get your ass back up to second squad's position and find out what the hell is going on.
But
I don't have time for your lip, soldier. I gave you an order.
Sarge, listen.
What is that?
Where's that coming from, Mendoza?
Everywhere. I don't... There! Mira! Hold still! Hold still!
Let him have it.
Ah!
Sergeant, we're surrounded.
God damn it, Jenkins! Fire your weapon!
There are too many, Sarge!
Don't even think about it, Marine.
Oh, this is local!
Get back here, Marine! That's an order!
Jenkins!
Ew, what is that? Nobody told me this was Australia. They have legs now? They have legs now. R2, we need to be going up, not down. They shoot now? They shoot now. This is a terrible joke. This is supposed to be Halo, not a horror game.
Greetings. I am the monitor of Installation 04. I am 343 Guilty Spark.
No, you're C-3PO.
Someone has released the flood. My function is to prevent it from leaving this installation, but I require your assistance. Come, this way.
Chief, I've lost your signal. Where'd you go? Chief! Chief!
Alright, so we gotta follow C-3PO to the index. This place is dark and easy to get lost. There are just so many enemies that it feels like they infinitely respawn. The shotgun is your ultimate ally here. Throughout the missions, C-3PO would send in a squad of sentinels.
Please follow closely. This portal is the first of 10.
10? This is just like the other mission, but more irritating. The flood takes much more damage to kill and will obliterate you. Also, this mission goes on and on. Areas are repeated over and over. It's over!
Unfortunately, my usefulness to this particular endeavor has come to an end. Protocol does not allow units with my classification to perform a task as important as the reunification of the index with the core. That final step is reserved for you, Reclaimer. Odd. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
That was sick.
I've spent the last 12 hours cooped up in here watching you toady about, helping that thing get set to slit our throat.
That's true, I died 100 times trying to get the index.
A construct in the core? That is absolutely unacceptable.
Sod off.
What impertinence! I shall purge you at once!
You sure that's a good idea?
How dare you? I'll...
Do what? I have the index. You can just float and sputter.
Alright, that's enough. We gotta stop the flood, and the only way to do that is to activate the Halo onion ring.
You have no idea how this ring works, do you? Why the Forerunners built it? Halo doesn't kill Flood. It kills their food. Humans, Covenant, whatever. We're all equally edible. The only way to stop the Flood is to starve them to death. And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life. You don't believe me? Ask him.
This is true?
More or less. Technically, this installation's pulse has a maximum effective radius of 25,000 light years. But once the others follow suit, this galaxy will be quite devoid of life. Or at least any life with sufficient biomass to sustain the Flood. But you already knew that. I mean, how couldn't you?
Left out that little detail, did he?
We have followed outbreak containment procedure to the letter. You were with me each step of the way as we managed this crisis.
Chief, I'm picking up movement.
You are unwilling to help. I will simply find another. Still, I must have the index. Give your construct to me, or I will be forced to take her from you.
Number 15.
Save his head. Dispose of the rest.
It's a Covenant. I missed you guys. Alright, we gotta stop C-3PO and destroy Halo. First, we gotta destroy its pulse generators. This is also the mission where you can finally fly on the Banshee. This is really fun. Not fun. Alright, we gotta find the captain. He is inside the ship. That is a big nut.
It's done. I have the code. We should go. We need to get back to the Pillar of Autumn. Let's go back to the shuttle bay and find a ride. This thing is falling apart!
It'll hold.
We're not gonna make it!
We'll make it.
Pull up! Pull up! I leave home for a few days and look what happens. This won't take long. There. That should give us enough time to make it to a lifeboat and put some distance between ourselves and Halo before the detonation.
Can't imagine how exciting this is! To have a record of all of our lost time! Human history, is it? Fascinating. Oh, how I will enjoy every moment of its categorization! To think that you would destroy this installation as well as this record! I am shocked. Almost too shocked for words.
At least I still have control over the comm channels.
Where is he?
Detecting taps throughout the ship. Sentinels most likely. As for the monitor, he's in engineering. He must be trying to take the core offline. Even if I could get the countdown restarted, I don't know what to do.
Why not manually blow the ship?
Okay, I'm coming with you.
We gotta destroy the ship's fusion reactors. The only way to do that is to throw a grenade at them. Be sure that the flaps are open so that they can be destroyed. The Flood and the Sentinels are trying to kill you in the process, so be careful. Alright, all of the fusion reactors are destroyed. Now we gotta get out here. It's Warthog time.
Cortana to Echo 419. 2 Covenant Banshees are approaching on your 6. Evade. Say again, evade. I'm hit. Mayday! Mayday! This is shot to hell. I can't kill her. I can't hold on.
Echo 419! She's gone. Calculating alternate escape route. Ship's inventory shows 1 longsword fighter is still docked in launch base. We're cutting it close.
Here we go.
Finally, now I can rest and finish my onion rings. So that was the campaign. Overall thoughts? Really impressive for a game in 2001. The graphics may not be over the top, but they look great for a game in this generation. The reveal of the Flood is undeniably well thought out, starting out as these ominous beings being revealed as powerful monsters. Throughout the last few missions of the campaign, we're not only facing your standard Covenant grunts, but we're also facing these monstrosities. It really feels like we're stepping into an unknown alien world, and Halo nailed that completely. Now, on the multiplayer side, there are only two ways to play with other people: split screen and system link play. Split screen multiplayer is outstanding back then in this game, that it is on par with what GoldenEye 007 did back in the Nintendo 64 with 4-player split screen multiplayer. People would bring their Xbox and TV to their friends' houses and play Halo with them. This is where the term LAN parties was born. They had such an impact on the gaming community. Multiplayer is one of the core identities of the Halo franchise. There's just so much stuff to do here in multiplayer. There's just so much stuff to do. There's just so much stuff to customize. Yeah, you can customize your own game mode if you want to. There's a ton of fun content here in this game. Without Halo, the Xbox brand would have been left in the dust long ago. Halo does not only affect Xbox as a whole, but it popularized multiplayer gaming for first-person shooters. So I had a lot of fun playing Halo. I was amazed by its beauty and charm, and this is definitely one of those timeless masterpieces of a video game. And now we're back to reality. Oh hey, I don't know if I can keep this up. The more I play difficult games, the less time I can spend being more happy. But I got nothing to do with my life besides playing video games, so I decide to be a moron. Not you again. Ninja Gaiden 2. Not that one, this one. The second installment in the Ninja Gaiden trilogy for the NES. Great. The game was first released in Japan on April 6, 1990, in North America on May 1990, and in Europe on October 27, 1994. The game is titled Ninja Gaiden 2 The Dark Sword of Chaos. In Europe, it is called Shadow Warriors 2 The Dark Sword of Chaos, and in Japan, it is called I Give Up. A monthly American video game magazine called Electronic Gaming Monthly previewed Ninja Gaiden 2 in late 1989 and early 1990. Nintendo initially introduced the game as an arcade game for their Play Choice 10 system at Chicago's American Coin Machine Exposition in March 1990, which was marketed as a sequel to the first Ninja Gaiden arcade game. The game also had ports published for the Amiga and MS-DOS by GameTech in 1991. Well, here we go again. A sequel to a franchise that I have to play for the sake of my existence. Gotta stay close to your identity, people. So here's the plot. After the first game's events, Ashtar, the bad guy who controlled the bad guy from the last game, is informed of that bad guy's defeat. He plans to rule over Earth by opening the Gate of Darkness. Meanwhile, Ryu ran into a bunch of thugs and some sort of monster. An anonymous person met Ryu after the fight, and he told Ryu to go to the Tower of Lodja to save Irene, the girl we met in the last game. On the way to the tower, Ryu got ambushed by a goon, and the goon told a little bit about Ashtar. Ryu made his way to the top of the tower, found another bad guy, and found Irene, or so he thought. It appeared to be Ashtar in disguise, and he shocked Ryu using his sword. Johnny Cage appears, and Ashtar disappears into the Maze of Darkness. He revealed that his name is Robert and he's with Special Intelligence. Robert talks about the Sword of Chaos, or Ashtar's sword, and he tells Ryu to go to the maze to find Ashtar and Irene. We run into Ashtar and he starts talking about evil taking over the world, something like that, and we somehow ended up at the North Pole. And let me just show you this. What an absolute masterpiece of a dialogue. Irene told Ryu that there was an altar somewhere and that he must destroy it, and Jesus! How is this on the NES? This looks sick! After fighting some familiar creatures, Ryu runs into Robert, who appears to be injured. Robert tells Ryu that Irene got caught once again. I'm starting to see a pattern here. A bunch of enemies is coming, so Robert tries to hold them off as much as he can. He dies and Ryu finds Irene, only to find his old enemy still alive. Jackie Chan. Jackie explains how the evil sword works and the gate of darkness shall open. Ryu defeats him once again. Jackie comes back and turns into... what? He defeats Jackie and he's still alive. So with the power of Ryu's clan, the dragon sword and save states, he finally defeats Jackie Chan. And then we get a face reveal of Ryu.
I wear a mask with a smile for hours at a time.
Irene is still alive, everything becomes romantic, and they stare into the sunset. The end. Now, the gameplay is still pretty much the same compared to the first game. In the very first level, we are introduced to ninjas with osteoporosis, a bunch of master splinters, and ninjas that throw shurikens and pieces out. You also have these red orbs around the area. Hitting them gives you random power-ups, with the most notable one being the clone power-up. This is a really useful power-up throughout the game, so you can only have up to 2 clones with you. It's really vital to have a clone throughout the level. The first boss is not all too difficult, he just walks around and then he charges at you. If you're clinging to a wall, let go right before he charges to that side. In the next act, now we have Jason Voorhees running at you and the most annoying enemy in any game. Birds. Right after the train section, we are now on top of a mountain. How did that happen? The air keeps pushing us and it is infuriating. The air changes directions without giving you any second of preparation, and because of that, the air will just push you off a cliff. Like, how is that even possible? I know we're on top of a mountain, but that does not explain how a ninja carrying a katana keeps getting pushed by a freaking wind. Another thing I want to point out is that on each side of any platform, you can climb up and down like a ladder. It's just not plain obvious, it looks like it's part of the background or something. I just realized this 10 minutes into the game. Moving on to the boss. This is creepy. The boss sends out a group of spiders. The spiders are the most irritating part of this fight. If you try to go up, the boss goes down. If you try to go down, the boss goes up. But the boss gives you a little amount of time for you to land a hit. On to the next level. Oh my god! You can't see where the platforms are. This is ridiculous. It's not as annoying as the wind thing at the last level, but here it's easier to fall off without knowing there's a gap there. I want to point out the second worst enemy of the game. These guys. They like to jump around you and roll around. They are so annoying. Right after that area, you enter the tower. We also have this new guy that throws fireballs horizontally. I like to mess with this guy a bit, though he packs a lot. You need to land a ton of hits to defeat him. Afterwards, it's on to the next boss fight. We are fighting some sort of robot and he throws projectiles at you. He flies around, so you need to get a hit for the robot to land. I'd say this boss fight is easier than the last one, as long as you're careful. We're in hell now. We have these things that float around and shoot 4 projectiles. It's hard to see them when the background is fire. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Shortly after this part, we move on to... oh my god. This is torture. I don't know which is worse now, this, or this. But that's not all. The water becomes more annoying in the boss fight. You have this thing in the upper middle and sometimes its hands come out of either side. Whenever you get hit here, it's easy to get pushed by the water and it's hard to get back up. But this boss fight is actually pretty easy. You just need a good amount of health and patience. So we move on to this sort of dungeon area with spikes around. You have less room to move around these areas, and it's easy to lose a ton of health. And come on, what's next? Muddy water? Quicksand? These guys never run out of ideas to give you a migraine. Obviously, the platforms are slippery because it's all ice. There's not much to say here other than these spiders who shoot fire at you, that's it. The next boss is Ashtar. This fight can be pretty annoying and it takes a while to finish. A bunch of fireballs come at Ashtar and release them in the exact same way. After that, he teleports. There's no indication of where Ashtar will appear next, and fight is tough, but I gotta admit, the stage and the music during this fight rocks. We're inside a cave in the next stage. This stage can be a bit confusing with these destroyed buildings covering the screen, and now everything is red. On to the next boss fight, we gotta defeat two gargoyles. They jump and shoot gums at you. Moving on. Next we have the most disorienting background in NES history. Now we're in whatever this place is. Then we gotta fight the bad guy from the last game. Not much has changed compared to the first game, but it is still incredibly annoying. What the hell is this? So we gotta avoid the poison dripping from the ceiling while avoiding harmful meatballs. This fight does feel intense if you're low on health, but the stage is something I want to talk about. There's just too much room to move around, and I know I would still complain about it if the area is a bit smaller, but still. The next phase is similar to that of the final boss in the first game. You gotta hit the head first while avoiding its attacks, and there's barely any room here. After enough damage, it's time to strike the heart. Game over. Ninja Gaiden 2 is definitely a step up in terms of cutscenes, enemy variety, and overall gameplay. Now the question is this harder than the first game? Yes, but not a whole bunch. This game has a ton of gimmicks that will definitely mess you up. Now the cutscenes look way better. There's much more stuff going in the background and it looks awesome. The new abilities are so helpful in this game. While the new abilities are great, that doesn't mean the game gets any easier. This is a Ninja Gaiden game, and this one rocks. So Ninja Gaiden 2 is great, but it's still difficult. And Christmas is right around the corner, so I hope I'm gonna have a great time this month. Oh hey, I'm just chilling, no big deal. You know, I'm feeling pretty good right now. No stress, no work, no Ninja Gaiden 3. Let's get this over with. Ninja Gaiden 3 is the final installment in the Ninja Gaiden trilogy for the NES. For the NES. I'm never escaping this stupid franchise. Of course, this is the same side-scrolling platformer developed and published by Tech. It was released in Japan on June 26, 1991 for the Famicom and in North America in August for the NES. However, the NES version was never released in Europe. As much as I hate how Nintendo keeps restricting most of its products to Europe, I'm glad this is one of them. No one should ever suffer playing this game. Only people that don't have a living can play this game like me. But it did get a port later on to the Atari Lynx, a handheld by Atari. It was released in 1993 in Europe and in North America, with the European version retaining the North American title. So this is interesting. So the North American titles obviously have Ninja Gaiden as the title for the series. In Europe, however, the first two Ninja Gaiden games are called Shadow Warriors. Now, in the third entry, they decide to keep the same name for both North America and Europe. Why? I usually don't like changing titles to localized games for other regions, so if you're going to change the title for a third entry of a series that already has its own established name in a specific region, why even bother? That's like changing Avengers Infinity War into Defenders Eternal Battle or something. Now, while we're on the topic of titles, let's take a look at the box art. I don't like this. Let's compare the three box arts. The first one is alright, it's got a lot of tension going on in the background and there's a lot of fire, which could imply that the game's telling you that what you're going to play is the literal definition of hell. The second I think looks much better. You got more story elements on the cover and it is overall pretty solid. This is just bland and empty. You only got Ryu on the cover and that's it. I mean, it's fine, it's serviceable. It's just that compared to the last two games, this is definitely the worst one. There aren't any story elements or anything that's happening in the background. I guess the cloud there represents the ancient ship of doom, but if it is, it doesn't even look close to the one we see in game. And we'll get there in a few moments because I got one more thing to whine about. It's said in Wikipedia, the best place for all your sources, that the North American version, which is the one that I played, was intentionally made harder than the Japanese version by the use of limited continues, stronger enemies, and the removal of a password system, which could have been so useful because while the game isn't too long, it's very hard. I mean, why? Why specifically the North American version? Why not do the same with the European version or even the Japanese version? What did the Land of Obesity do to deserve this? And why am I angry about this? I'm not even an American. Alright, this is it. Even though this is just the first of the many other games of Ninja Gaiden. Why am I being sentimental? I hate Ninja Gaiden. So we boot up the game and the cutscene plays, much like the previous two games. We see Irene getting chased by us, so this is what happens when you're a Minecraft YouTuber. Evil dialogue, Irene falls off cliff and dies. But that's just a theory. A game theory. We received the news and we headed to the laboratory where Irene was being chased, then the game starts. So, who's ready for me to lose it? So this is the first level. I hope you like industrial piping. We're inside the laboratory, and what the hell are these? So we got ninjas, obviously, and some robotic spiders. Apparently, they also got a mummy wearing a turtle shell for a hat and a floating marshmallow. One new feature you may have noticed already is the ability to hang overhead from surfaces. This is a really cool mechanic that should have been implemented more often today in platforming games. This ability is pretty useful whenever you're in a tight situation when you're surrounded by enemies. Doing this will give you just a bit amount of time to decide how to get out of situations like that. The problem is that in the later part of the game, most of the enemies fly out of nowhere and you're always guaranteed to get hit. Of course, the power-ups return. We get the same power-ups from the previous games, the boomerangs, the fireballs, and the fire wheel, but we get a new power-up that allows you to throw projectiles above and below you simultaneously. This power-up is really useful to me in the last few levels of the game, especially since most enemies come above and below you. One thing I noticed is that more health potions pop up, especially the 1-ups, though they are more difficult to get by. Moving back to the first level, it's pretty easy in Ninja Gaiden terms. There are some parts where there are a ton of enemies, but overall it's not a very difficult first level. And then we make it to the boss. Again, it's not that challenging. You just gotta time the attacks properly and when to dodge. But if you do get hit, you'll lose a ton of health, so be careful. And that's the first boss, easy. What do you mean this isn't an ordinary lab? They got Scyther and Baymax on crack. We then are greeted by a guy that's totally not creepy at all. He tells us to go to the Castle Rock Fortress. To get there, we'll have to get past all the traps our enemy has set up for us. When did they never? Alright, it's Act 2 and... NO! It's a tradition to hate sand levels in video games. If you don't follow this tradition, are you even a gamer? So there are these areas that have quicksand and you slowly sink in if you stand still for a few seconds. All you have to do is to just jump around, but of course, it's Ninja Gaiden, and what do they have in store for us? Mummies with a watermelon for a head and alien frogs. I swear these frogs are so annoying. I jump and try to hit them, I get hit first. I crouch and try to hit them once they land, same thing. I stand still and try to hit them, the same thing happens again. And they drain your health bar if you don't kill them, I swear. These guys are probably one of the worst enemies throughout the entire series in the NES. And that's not all. There are these flying enemies that slowly get to you. While they're slow, they take up most of the space you're trying to get to, but compared to the frogs, these enemies are easier to kill since they move slowly. And also, what happened? It'd be nice if you put a pyramid there since the next stage takes place indoors, but no. You move to the right, next stage. There's no smooth transition here like some parts in the game. Anyway, here's the next stage. We're somewhere on the ground and are introduced to this enemy. This guy has a shield, so you have to wait for them to attack so that they're vulnerable. This part of the level is the first one with tight spacing. There's always at least one enemy on a platform that you're trying to get to. We then enter this part where we run away from the lava. I really like this part. I still have to use save states here, but it's still far from difficult, though it's easy to mess up here. With the way Ninja Gaiden platforming works, it doesn't feel too slow or too fast. It just gives you enough time to take out enemies as you try to escape from the lava. But then again, it's easy to mess up here. We escape the lava and these things return from the second game. Great. Other than that, not much new stuff in this part, then we get to the second boss. The boss flies around, which is annoying, and it flies up and down whenever it launches an attack. It does this upside down V-shaped attack, which can be hard to dodge, but all you need to do is to stay away from the boss's projectile range whenever it stops. The fight gets more frustrating if you use up your ninja meter to use your secondary weapons. Even if your ninja meter is full, the fight takes a lot of time to finish and it's easy to mess up here. But overall it's not the hardest boss fight, so moving on. Cutscene plays and... Foster. Oh, that guy from the first game. Where have you been? Why weren't you in the second game? And why do you have a red background? Oh. Alright, now we're in the spawn. How do we get from there to here? Anyway, this level incorporates a ton of platforming that requires you to hang under them. Ignore that. There are these platforms that float up and down, and the majority of them float too down that you can instantly die from the water. What is the point of this? And there are these fish that just jump around. They're about as annoying as the frogs from the last level. The good thing is that they only appear at this level. The bad thing is, they're everywhere here in this level. And then there are times when you have to hang over a vine to avoid an enemy, but there's always that one enemy that stays above the vine, and when you hang over it, you have no choice but to take damage. But this doesn't happen only in this level, it also happens in the following levels too. Just like, why? The enemy just touched my hand, how did it hurt me? So we enter in a, where the hell am I? Like the previous games, the water pushes you here as well. Not much of a big problem, but can be a bit irritating in tight scenarios. There are also these spike balls that appear from above. They basically just follow you around and they can be pretty hard to dodge, but there's always your trusty wall by your side. We also have these blobs that show projectiles at a curve on both sides. Again, these projectiles aren't the hardest to dodge and they take time to charge. So this entire area is a bit long and contains a ton of enemies, and all you have to do is to head to the very bottom. At the bottom we have these frogs, though they don't move as fast as the ones in the last level. Other than that, I feel like they only appeared on this one level, so who cares about them. Next up, we have a lot of shit to tackle here. So let me show an image of this part of the level to summarize what you'll be dealing with here. Can you tell me what I had to go through? This is the first part that I spent a lot of time trying to get through. Even with save states, this stage is just dreadful because these things return all the time. From the first game, we have these birds. They're annoying, small, and they hit me most of the time and you can't even hit them. The same applies here, though this time they're bigger and they take up way too much space, and whenever I feel like I hit them first, I get hit first. This right here is the worst enemy in video game history yet. After that terror, we are greeted by the third boss of the game. Wait, let me just rephrase that. We are greeted by the third bosses of the game. They really like frogs. So we have to deal with these two frogs, which apparently share the same health bar, which is good, but man is it hard to dodge them. The shurikens that they throw at you are nearly impossible to dodge. And shortly after that, they jump around and you'll never know where they're going to land. Like the previous boss fight, this takes a while to finish. Primarily because the frogs move everywhere so fast that you don't even have enough time to deal some damage. This is the first boss fight I struggled with in this game, and it took me like 12 minutes. That doesn't sound a lot, but given that you take a ton of damage by just a single hit, 12 minutes is a long time. After that, another cutscene plays. This time we met our clone, so we get a fight scene while the protagonist and the antagonist talk to each other. Typical anime stuff, but at least this one has a lot less stuff going on screen, so that there's time to read the subtitles. Unlike some animes, the fight begins, we lost. You're nothing but talk, aren't you? What do you mean, I'm you? I'll use the information from this fight the next time we meet. Okay, nerd, I got save states. So we're, are we underground or at the top? Is that lava in the background? Why are those mountains upside down? Where am I? Not much new stuff here. There are some parts where you need to time with the moving platforms, and this is where it kinda gets annoying. Remember those slow flying enemies from the second level? Well, this is where they truly become the third annoying enemy of the game. When trying to get to this platform, you have no choice but to lose health getting there unless you got the new power-up. But they spawn at a specific place depending on where you are, so you can just ignore some of them since they move slowly, but then again they take up a lot of space and it can get pretty hard to dodge them in a tight spot. But that's not all. We also got the flying bees. Same thing, but it's more annoying trying to hit them. Then we get inside the dungeon with spikes appearing and disappearing at a given time. They're easy to dodge in the first few stages, but they deal a ton of damage. There are these things that shoot projectiles in 3 different directions. Pretty easy to dodge, but it takes a while trying to hit them. So don't even bother doing that. There's a lot more important stuff than these things. Overall, there's not much stuff in this part. You just gotta time your jumps, and there are times when enemies are in places where you can't hit normally, so you have to use some power-ups to beat them. Then we move to this section. Ever imagine what a Violet Galaga ship looks like? Here you go. They're pretty easy to kill using the right power-ups, but if you don't have any, you screwed up. These enemies move horizontally, either from the left or from the right, and they mostly move very slowly and move pretty fast when they like to. Just like the previous part, you just gonna time when you move and jump. The next part is pretty much the same. And then we get to the 4th boss. We're fighting Chestnut. So what does he do? Well, he walks towards you, drills underground, and throws fire at you. There's something funny about him going underground. The range of his fire attack is insane. It attacks 5 times and immediately after that, he jumps at you. But this guy is not the hardest boss. It's not that difficult to dodge a fire attack most of the time, since you know that it's aiming at you. This fight is probably my favorite out of all the boss fights of the entire game, or maybe even the entire series in the NES. Mainly because it's not the most difficult, and for me, it's probably the only boss fight that I had fun playing through. Mew. I knew you'd come. Yuck. I remember you. I don't. Who the hell is Clancy? So Clancy tells us that he used to work for Foster and that he's secretly creating a bionoid. To which we ask, what's a bionoid? And he answered this. Good luck winning at Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So Foster was rebuilding the fortress and doing some experiments. He's doing some evil stuff basically. Cool cutscene. So we arrive at Castle Rock Fortress, i.e. the late 1700s. We got these robots that shoot projectiles by an arc. The attacks area is a bit wide, but it's pretty easy to dodge them. But oh my god! So many bees, so many spider thingies, so many drones, there's so many! Right now, where are we? We got this guy that shoots the slowest laser beam in video game history. There's no way to deflect this attack, so you gotta crouch down. The problem here is if there are a bunch of enemies coming towards you and you crouch under the beam, you cannot move while crouching, so you're pretty much vulnerable when this happens. The moment you see this enemy pop up, try your best to kill him quickly. And this is something you want to do when you move to this part. There are a ton of enemies here, mostly the said enemies and those little things that jump around in this area. I recommend killing those guys first, since if they shoot you can't move around much, so just do that. Now we encounter Foster when Irene shows up. What? Our evil clone shows up, does a Dragon Ball Z move, and transforms into an evil purple Hulk. And this is by far the hardest boss fight yet. The boss jumps around, throws shurikens, and throws fireballs nearly at the same time. You're gonna spend a lot of time in this boss fight, and it's going to be more devastating when you realize you've spent so much time just trying to get to the boss fight. So when you run out of time, you go back here. The key to this boss fight is patience. Since the boss jumps around so much, you can't hit him most of the time. And he attacks often, so you need to be quick to dodge him. There's not much else to say here, it's just the fight takes so long to beat. So Clancy arrives, and what do you know, he's the real bad guy. He brought Foster with him and teleported to another dimension, I guess. So we followed him and we entered this crystal cave. The platforms act like the ice from the previous game, so no explanation is needed here. And then... am I in a mukbang video? So you might think that these are walls, well, they aren't. They just appear in the foreground, like why even put them here? You can't even discern it from the platforms around you. Honestly, they're pretty worthless. There's no reason to put them here. You're supposed to be dead. Who's that? Is that Goro from Mortal Kombat? Oh no, it's Scorpion. So this is a pretty simple fight. He shoots a fireball, charges at you, hits the wall, and stuff comes down. Overall, not a pretty difficult boss fight, so moving on. We got teleported and we meet Clancy, who now looks like Admiral Thrawn. What happened? The ancient ship of Doom is summoned, and now we gotta stop it. We're playing Wing Fortress Zone in reverse, and god damn, we got air again. It's still pretty annoying like the last title. Then we entered this area. Not much new in this area other than these electric fences that could literally kill you. Once we move to this part, I'm embarrassed to say how many times I tried this part. It's just that these moving platforms move so fast and the electric fences here provide you barely any space to jump around, so you just gotta time your moves properly. And then we entered this area, which is pretty long and pretty challenging, so moving on. Spikes, fuck shit fuck more spikes. Then we finally encounter Clancy one last time, who looks like a Gundam that tried to fuse with an insect. He convinces us to join him, and since we're the good guy, we refused, obviously. Now, this fight ain't the hardest. You can do a ton of damage if you use our power-ups at the start of the fight immediately, but eventually you'll lose energy to use them. So when you try to hit him normally with a katana, you hit him and you hit him once more because he'll stop moving when you hit him for the first time. Just try to dodge the projectiles, especially the lightning. Overall, not the hardest fight, but of course, this isn't the last boss fight. The second phase isn't too difficult as well. A bunch of projectiles come at the boss and charge up an attack that tracks you. This is his only attack here, which makes this phase pretty easy. And then we make it to the final phase, which acts like the same final phase from the previous games. He shoots a curved projectile and another projectile that bounces around. Sometimes this curved projectile is in the ground. I guess the attack depends on where you are vertically. There's barely any room here, so like that one boss from earlier, this fight will take you a while to beat. So once you hit him enough times, you just gotta hit the orb in his chest. And now he attacks sort of in a V-shaped pattern where he shoots lasers at you, and after just barely making it out alive, we beat the game. Yes! Finally! I've beaten the entire trilogy. That means I can rest. Well, no, we still got a couple minutes left. So there goes the entire Ninja Gaiden trilogy for the NES. Definitely one of the best series of games for the system. It's full of action, has a good story, and looks pretty good for an NES game. However, it has its downsides. Obviously, these games are difficult, but not as much. Those who are new to these games might beat these games, and some might even find fun in these games. Pretty sure they belonged in a isolation ward. The gameplay is unique. It's just a perfect combination of being fast enough for the modern gaming audience, but with just the right amount of clunkiness to make it feel like an NES game. The entire story of this series is nothing groundbreaking. Did you really expect this game to have a LEGO Marvel Superheroes level of story quality? These games are from the 80s. It's not bad, but it's serviceable enough, and it's pretty much what you'd expect out of a video game about ninjas in the 1980s. As basic as the story is, it's actually quite good. Now, do I recommend playing these games? What have I been complaining about for 3 episodes? Nah, it's just that you can either tolerate these games or not. It just depends on you and your personality if you want to play the game. The only reason why I've been talking about games like this is to let everyone know that these kinds of games are the embodiment of suffering, but there's still good in them, which justifies the reason to want to play these games. And Ninja Gaiden is one of the many examples of that. I think I see it now. Even if my entire existence is based on complaining about stupidly difficult games, they're not actually that terrible. They're just terribly hard, but that's one of the reasons why they're good. And as you may already know, I reviewed the entirety of Ninja Gaiden, and it's good. It's pretty good. It's just hard. And by the entirety of Ninja Gaiden, I mean a third of the entire franchise. Oh, hey. What the Yeah, we've all seen this coming. Well, except that. Cuphead, the delicious last course. Huh, that's clever. Delicious last course, DLC. Well, I wish it gone deliciously immediately extinct. On June 11, 2018, Studio MDHR released a brand new trailer announcing a DLC for Cuphead. No gameplay was shown here, but it did reveal some vital info about the DLC, including a brand new playable character, Miss Chalice was already a character we knew in the game, a new location which means new bosses, weapons, and charms, and they also revealed a new character, Chef Saltbaker, who's totally not the main bad guy in the DLC, and it's announced to be released in 2019. After 3 more trailers, 2 announcing a port for the Switch and 1 for the Mac, we got another teaser trailer detailing the DLC. We only got less than 10 seconds of actual gameplay, okay, and it's now announced to hit on 2022 on all platforms. When this trailer hit, I was a bit worried. The last trailer about the DLC was released a year before, and up until the next DLC trailer was released, there was no new info till that point, and the new trailer didn't show anything at all besides a millisecond of gameplay. I mean, a delay can either go super wrong or not. The original game got announced around 2013, got 2 more trailers separately at E3 2014 and 2015, and got an announcement trailer in 2017. So given all of that, a few more delays would have been understandable. It just means that the people behind the development of the DLC would have more time. But alas, after nearly 2 years, it was finally released on June 30, 2022 on all platforms. Well, that's a cool story. A bunch of delays, back and forth. To truly know if the game is worth it, I gotta play it. And given that I have played Cuphead before, it shouldn't be that difficult. So once you bought the DLC, you are greeted with a new title screen. Nice diapers. And once you enter your last save file, this guy comes and tells us to meet him on the coast. We meet him there and tells us that Chalice needs our help on an island for a mysterious discovery. So we head there with this cutscene. Don't worry, he's not a bad guy here, he just smiles like that. Gosh, Cuphead, I don't know, I hope she's okay. We sure are far from home. So Chalice arrives, gives Mugman a cookie, and they switch places. And looking back at this part, she just killed Mugman. Follow Chalice and she says that she is trying to find a way to escape the astral plane. She introduces us to Chef Saltbaker, the greatest chef in all the lands, totally not the main bad guy here. Apparently the cookie that Mugman ate only has a temporary effect and Chalice returns to the astral plane. The chef, who's totally not the main bad guy, came up with a new recipe that will bring back Chalice to life. And the ingredients we need are held by the most fearsome of foes, so we'll be committing homicide. After the cutscene, we are given the astral cookie that allows us to play as Chalice. So this is the new island. If we come to this stand, we get a tutorial for Chalice. Unlike Cuphead and Mugman, Chalice can double jump, dodge roll, has an extra health point, and can parry dash. Basically, if you want this game to have an easy mode or just want to get on with the DLC, just play as Chalice. She also has her own set of unique abilities. Her Super Art 1 is the same as the regular one, but vertically. Super Art 2 gives you an extra HP, and Super Art 3 which just spawns a swarm of ghosts and a pink spirit that you can parry. So we head to the first boss of the DLC. The first phase has this big mafia spider. He walks around either from the 3 levels while some of his goons shoot fire at you. The spider would stop to either spawn a bunch of bombs, call some of his flies, or launch a caterpillar around the room. All of these attacks last a while so they can appear all at the same time. This phase is the hardest here, but it's easy to mess up here. It can get pretty intense sometimes, but it's easy to pick off those flies, and if the bombs appear, just dash in and out close to them to get rid of the bombs. I recommend watching out for those farts since you probably wouldn't even notice them most of the time because they don't appear that often. When transitioning to the second phase, there are these bombs that walk around both at the top and the bottom. Sometimes one of them is pink, which means you can parry them. But I wouldn't do that if I really have to. We got this lady that tip-tappity dances around while the record players shoot out 6 musical sheets. When it's green, it's safe to pass by it, but when it turns yellow and red, it's best to avoid it immediately. Be warned about these guys since if you run away from the red laser beams, you might run into them. Also, sometimes the bombs from earlier can appear here, so also be on the lookout for them. When the lady does her defeat animation, you can get hit if she does that. I restarted so many times because of this. It's pretty annoying that you can get hit by this. Then we enter the final phase where we'll be fighting a giant anteater. Once it does this animation, you can hit the snail to get a couple of hits in. This phase is pretty tricky. You can tell from which side the anteater is about to attack, but you can't tell exactly where it'll be attacking. It can attack from the top, the middle, or the bottom. Most of the time it'll fake out its attack where it uses its tongue to grab a bunch of flies, which then becomes a new projectile that bounces around, making it harder to dodge any incoming attack. The only way to deal damage is if you hit its mouth. It's easy to get hit here because you might accidentally get hit immediately by its mouth, which is the only place where you can deal damage. They could have just made the entire anteater explosible so that you can hit the anteater and just make the anteater's health bigger so that the fight will last longer. So after that, we beat the boss. Oh, never mind, there's another okay, after we beat the first boss, we gain access to this area where we fight the next boss, a literal cowboy. This is the first DLC boss where you fight in a plane. In the first phase, there are multiple things to be on the lookout. We got the boss's main attack where he shoots a snake oil that comes back in the same direction they were shot. Sometimes the cowboy pulls out a cactus either from the top or the bottom. There are these birds that throw dynamite, and when it explodes, it lets out multiple dynamites as well. There are also these flying horses that appear either above or below, where they shoot out a cactus ball before they leave the screen. This phase isn't too hard, you just have to be on the lookout for the projectiles, since there are so many of them. In the second phase, he lets out a vacuum that sucks stuff coming off screen. Afterwards, he shoots out bolts that when they hit the ground, they shoot out gold and money. Like the last phase, you just have to be on the lookout for the projectiles. It's easy to dodge them if you know what you're doing, and I would recommend parrying the pink gold since it's pretty easy to parry them. Then in the next phase, he gets sucked by his own vacuum and becomes a living sausage. This phase might be the hardest one in this fight in my opinion. The meat he shoots out can be hard to dodge, especially with these flying cans of beans that take up a lot of space. The best thing to do here is to not panic. Finally, in the last phase, he becomes a can of sausages, and he lets out a row of sausages that float up and down in a sideways V shape, where there are these gaps in between where you can dodge the attack. While this is happening, a bunch of jalapenos are spread throughout the area. This phase is tricky. You just gotta focus on the gaps between the sausages to avoid them, as well as the flying jalapenos. Overall, a pretty solid boss fight, just not the hardest one. Beating this boss unlocks a new area where we fight a bunch of furries, the worst monsters out there. Before we do that, there's this old ghost who's on a mystery. Apparently, he said that there must be an order or method to access the astral plane in this graveyard here. And we'll come back to that soon, because right now we gotta deal with... So here's the first phase. We got this bulldog that either grabs a cat and it shoots out 3 yarn balls, or he shoots out 3 bones that are coming out of his tattoo. Don't even mention how he does that. There are prompts to determine which attack he'll be doing. It's easy to dodge the bones, but when it comes to the yarn balls, if you're playing as Chalice, double jump and dash towards the direction they were shot from. It's easy to dodge these if you're playing as Chalice. You also got these little guys that throw tennis balls. There are also fire hydrants that chase you around. With the fact that you have to move left and right to get the plane to tilt around, it can get pretty hard to dodge if all of these attacks happen all at once. Also take note that you can fall out of the plane and get hit, so you don't have a lot of room to move around and not get hit. In the next phase, 4 dogs in jetpacks fly around you in circles shooting letters at you. It's easy to dodge the projectiles, and overall this entire phase is the easiest here, but you just gotta time your jumps properly when you're trying to avoid the projectiles. Once you made it to the final phase, you just gotta avoid the lasers, pretty standard stuff. Then this happens. It's a good thing I'm using a laptop. So this part you're going to be really careful about. Since the screen is tilted, your controls change as well. There are only 2 attacks here. The lasers from earlier only appears when the screen is normal, and the dog balls. Red means that they fly at the ground level, so you have to jump, and yellow flies above you. The only way you lose here is if you messed up. This entire phase is pretty confusing, but after a few attempts, it can get pretty easy to understand the entire phase, but it's still easy to mess up. Beating this boss unlocks a new area where we fight the Ice King. The first phase is pretty easy. The boss floats around at the top, which makes it pretty easy to deal some hits. He would spawn in a bunch of icicle clones, shoot out a bunch of cards, and smack you with a whale. The next phase is a bit difficult. He becomes a giant snowman, and after he transforms, he'll roll up to you, and there are 2 variations of this attack. Either he rolls normally or jumps at you. And then he would become a giant refrigerator that shoots out ice cubes that when they hit the ground, they spawn in more ice cubes. The refrigerator also lets out flying popsicles, and they can get pretty hard to dodge, especially when the snowman is readying another attack. It's where the popsicles just appear while you're trying to dodge away from the snowman, and it's annoying. The snowman also has this one attack where he smacks the ground, a bunch of swords appear one by one. Finally, when you reach the final phase, the snowman becomes a giant floating snowflake, and there are these platforms that float around in circles. The giant snowflake would move from the opposite side whenever it feels like it. This guy's got multiple attacks. First is this eyeball that shoots lasers vertically, second are these ice beams, and lastly there are these buckets that split into 3 moon projectiles. This fight isn't the hardest, but it's easy to mess up here. Overall, not the hardest boss fight yet. Beating this boss unlocks another way to the gnome giant. There's a ton of stuff here in the first phase. There are 5 platforms here that go up and down. You can go down to where the gnomes are, but most of the time if you do, you might get hit by them. Normally the gnomes throw fireballs at you, which are pretty easy to dodge. The gnome giant would open its mouth and the cauldron inside would launch a bunch of clouds at you. It would also grab a bear towards him, which is pretty easy to avoid. It gives you less room to avoid projectiles. Then in the second phase, he grabs 2 dolls that shoot out projectiles aimed at you. This phase is pretty easy overall, but then we get to the final phase. The giant ate us and now we're inside his stomach. We just gotta shoot upwards while also avoiding any attacks and the disappearing platforms. If you parry one of the skull's tongues, the platforms restart and they all appear once again. And you have to do this constantly while also avoid incoming attacks. This phase isn't the hardest, but it's easy to mess up here. There's not enough room to double jump. Most of the time, you might accidentally get hit by the boss or fall into the acid pool. Overall, it's not that difficult. So, we murdered all of them and got our ingredients. Now it's time to give these to the chef, who's totally not the main bad guy in this game. Okay, this is new. Must have let this open. Oh, who would have seen this coming? So he basically sent us to murder an entire mafia, Clint Eastwood, a bunch of furries, purple PJs, and a giant gnome just to help him in his evil plan, and now he trapped Cuphead inside a jar. It's a chef, he can't be that hard to beat. I swear, this damn cook put up more of a fight than the devil. The devil. So in the first phase, he does a lot of attacks. Firstly, there's this fireball that goes up and down that follows you where you are. This attack's not much of a deal, but it can be annoying at times. Secondly, there are these slimes that spin around the area. They're pretty annoying, but they're easy to avoid if you're really being cautious. Third, there are these sugar cubes that float up and down. They're also annoying, but I would recommend trying to parry the pick ones. You'll have less time worrying about avoiding any other incoming attacks if you do. Lastly, there are these biscuits in the form of animals that jump around. It's easy to accidentally get hit by them, but if you use the spread attack, they won't be much of a problem. Every time you restart the fight, the chef starts with either of the 2 attacks, the spinning limes or the sugar cubes. This phase is the longest here, which means this phase might be the hardest yet. If you want to beat the boss, you might need to use the super art that gives you an extra hit point. Trust me when I say that this is really useful. It's easy to mess up in this entire boss fight, so you might need to use the super art. If you're going to do that, you just need to save your super meter in the latter half of the first phase. It might take a while, so be very patient. In the next phase, there are 4 pepper shakers. You need to deal enough damage for the pepper shaker to attack the chef. This is the only way you can damage the chef in this phase. The pepper shaker sneeze out peppercorns, some of which can be parried. You also need to look out for this flaming guy. He jumps around to where you are, so be careful. Be aware of the falling leaves. If this happens, it might get difficult to avoid any attack. Overall, not the hardest phase, but still easy to screw up. In the third phase, the chef is destroyed and he sends out a clone that jumps around the screen. The clone is pretty big and has a wide hitbox, so whenever it is close to you, just dash out of the way. And also be aware of this little saw in the ground. This phase is short, but you have to be really careful not to dash into the clone since that might happen by mistake. Finally, we're in the last phase. The chef turns into 2 salt tornadoes and his heart bounces around the area. Now in this phase, you have to be extra careful. There's very little area here and it's easy to get hit by anything. The platforms fall downwards, so you have to jump constantly. Because of all this, you can get hit by the floating heart since it moves up and down and left and right. So here's my strategy, just wait for the heart to float at the top. By then you can deal some hits because it's pretty difficult to hit it if it's down here. While you're doing this, you need to jump to get to the other platforms. So you just gotta aimlessly point your gun at the top and just look at the bottom to jump to the other platforms. If the heart moves at the bottom, just try to get to the top to not get hit. You might need to parry the heart if you need to. By the way, when you parry the heart, it cannot take damage for a few seconds, so be patient. Before this phase, I advise that you need to save up a full super meter in case you lose the extra hit point. This entire boss fight is the hardest boss fight in the entire game. As I said earlier, this chef put up more of a fight than the freaking devil. In comparison between these two fights, I'd say the chef is easily a better boss. This doesn't mean the devil boss fight isn't that hard, no. I also spent a lot of time beating that guy. It's just that I spent more time trying to beat this guy than him. But the devil's boss fight feels like the final boss. You spent hours beating up everyone to beat up the devil, and that felt rewarding. With how short of time you need to beat the main quest of the DLC, the chef's boss fight doesn't feel as rewarding as the devil's, but this fight is still rewarding nonetheless. I feel like there's a lot of variety here in the boss fight when it comes to the attacks. Especially in the first phase, all of the attacks have very different and vibrant colors. That's pretty much all the good stuff I have to say about this guy. I freaking hate this chef. The bakery collapses, the chef goes to court, where he is sentenced to do community service. What? He deserves to be in hell. I had to spend 3 hours just trying to beat this guy. He deserves first than community service. Oh, and now look, he rebuilt the bakery and threw a feast. He's going to poison everyone in this town. Wait, who's that guy? Ah shit, the game's not over. This is the King's Sleep. This guy here is the king, and he has a bunch of challenges for us. So how these challenges work is that you can't use your weapons or your charms. Instead, you have to parry to deal some damage. Don't worry, these bosses aren't the hardest, but they aren't the easiest as well. It'll take some time to learn the bosses since they all function differently. So let's go through all of them. First, we have these pawns. We just have to parry their heads and then move on. Do note that the parried pawns can still run around, so you have to avoid them. Second, we have this knight. Probably the second hardest boss in the King's Sleep, but it's not that difficult at all. You just gotta be patient for him to be vulnerable, and you have to learn his moves so you can telegraph what he's about to do. You can parry him twice, maybe even 3 times if you do it immediately after he does a move and if you time it properly. Next, we got this bishop whose heads float around. You must blow out the lit candles by going through them so that you can parry the bishop. If the bishop's heads disappear, don't stay near to the middle. And there are also these bells that float around the area. They're not much of an issue, but they can be pretty annoying. Next, we have this executioner. He spawns a bunch of pink heads, skulls, and sparks. You need to parry the pink heads constantly so that they can hit the executioner. In this entire fight, you just have to be patient. It can be difficult to parry the pink heads since you'll risk getting close to the executioner, but overall it's not that hard. Finally, we have the queen. You have to parry the pink sparks on these cannons. They aim around a lot, so you have to time your parries properly. You also gotta react very quickly when she spawns in these pink statues. They're pretty fast and they spawn real quick, so parry them as fast as you can. She also throws a bunch of trinkets that spread around the area. They're pretty hard to avoid, so be on the lookout for them. Sometimes when you parry the cannon and it shoots, it avoids the queen, which is pretty annoying. But the fight isn't that long, and that's pretty much about it for the King's Sleep. After every boss, you are rewarded with 2 coins. When you beat the queen though, you get 3 coins. After you beat the entirety of the King's Sleep, it now becomes a training ground. But is the game over? Not yet. We still got one more mystery, and that is the graveyard. So if you talk to the old ghost, he says that there must be a pattern that can unlock something in the graveyard. To get your clues, you need to talk to the winners on the podium next to the place where you fought the giant gnome. The clues are randomized for so you need to deduct very carefully what the winners say. For example, if you talk to the winner in the first place, they'll give you a hint and you'll have to use that hint to find the first tombstone that you'll have to interact with. And you'd have to do that with the second and third place winners. You're gonna spend a lot of time trying to figure out these clues. There's not much I can help with here since it's randomized for everyone, so just take your time trying to find out the pattern. Once you find out the pattern, the middle tombstone lights up and all you need to do is to take a nap. I wonder what's gonna happen. You? Why are you here? So we're fighting both the angel and the demon. This boss fight is short, but it's still quite difficult. The demon will always face the player while the angel will always be behind you. That just gave a whole new meaning. The angel's attacks don't do anything, but when the two switch sides, the angel's attacks turn into the demon's attacks, which deal damage. There's also this cloud that shoots lightning at the bottom. The cloud isn't much of a problem, it can actually help you get out of sticky situations if you plan it carefully. The demon shoots fireballs and a wall of fire. The only way you can dodge the wall of fire is if you look at the opposite side so that the walls turn into water. Another way you can dodge the wall is if you equip the charm that allows you to dodge through the attacks. But if you equip this charm, you can play as Chalice. And I recommend that you do this. You can beat this fight as Chalice, but I think it's easier if you do this instead. I recommend you use the crack shot so that you don't have to worry about not aiming at the demon. And if you do all that, you beat the boss. Like I said multiple times in the past, a chef took a lot longer to beat than the demon, and that's about it for the DLC. Honestly, I was expecting a bit more. It's a pretty short expansion if you look back at it. It only has bosses, no run and gun levels or anything, and it's pretty weird because while Cuphead is known for its notorious bosses, the run and gun levels are quite challenging as well, and it's bizarre that there's none of that here. The bosses though are great. There may not be a ton of them here, but all of them leave a great impression. They're all pretty unique and that's what makes them quite memorable. The King's Leap is also a nice little bonus. A bunch of short mini bosses that reward you with a bunch of coins. I'm guessing this is their replacement for the run and gun stages. They're short and not that challenging, but it was a fun time. I just wish there was a bit more. And the hidden boss fight, the angel and the demon, it was a bit underwhelming. The damn puzzle took me longer to beat than the actual fight itself. It's nice that the devil returned, but the fight itself wasn't that difficult. It's not easy as well, no, but I expected it to be very difficult. So that's the entirety of Cuphead. I can't say it's the hardest game of all time, but it sure gave me a migraine. So, I hope I no longer return to this game for some stupid reason like completing this game 100%. You know what? I think I might do that. You know what? No. Please. I think I might be. Please. Oh god. My presence of such an idiot. There's only one way to prevent this. What is it now? Yeah! Listen, this is important. Oh, it's you. Look, I've told you for the last time to stop giving me Burger King onion rings. I had them every day for nearly a year. My present self wants to play Cuphead and complete it 100%. And you know what happens if it does. So you called me to save a different version of you. Why would I do that? Well, what do you want? Other than the Burger King onion rings, that is. My own fucking episode.
One. Are you sure?
Why was it not destroyed with the rest of their fleet?
When you first saw Halo, were you blinded by its majesty? Paralyzed? Dumbstruck? Yet the humans were able to evade your ships, land on the sacred ring, and desecrate it with their filthy footsteps.
There will be order in this council.
You were right to focus your attention on the Flood. But this demon, this Master Chief...
Noble prophet of truth, this has gone on long enough. Make an example of this bungler. The Council demands it.
You are one of our most treasured instruments. Long have you led your fleet with honor and distinction. But your inability to safeguard Halo was a colossal failure.
Nay, it was heresy.
No, you will not. Soon the great journey shall begin. But when it does, the weight of your heresy will stay your feet, and you shall be left behind.
The plating was about to fail. There's viscosity throughout the gel layer. Optics, totally fried. And let's not even talk about the power supply. You know how expensive this gear is, son?
Do I look like I give a damn?
So, Johnson, when you gonna tell me how you made it back home in one piece?
Sorry, Guns. It's classified.
My ass! Well, you can forget about those adjustments to your A2 scope and your...
Well, he's in a particularly fine mood. Maybe Lord Hood didn't give him...
Look, I appreciate all this, but I gotta do something else. You see, I gotta save this guy who is more of an idiot who wears glasses.
Haven't seen it?
Are you even listening to me? And every time I try to talk, everyone ends up changing the subject.
You told me you were gonna wear something nice.
You see?
Folks need heroes, Chief, to give them hope. So smile, would you? Well, we still got something to smile about.
Gentlemen, we're lucky to have you back. Go ahead, Cortana.
Another whisper, sir, near Io. We have probes en route.
I apologize, but we're going to have to make this quick.
You look nice.
Please.
Sergeant Major, the Colonial Cross is awarded for acts of singular daring and devotion. For a soldier of the United Earth Space Corps, Commander Miranda Keyes. Your father's actions were in keeping with the highest traditions of military service. His bravery in the face of impossible odds reflects great credit upon himself and the UNSC. The Navy has lost one of its best.
Slip space ruptures directly off our battle cluster.
Show me.
15 Covenant capital ships holding position just outside the kill zone.
This is Fleet Admiral Harper. We are engaging the enemy.
Negative, Admiral. Form a defensive perimeter around the cluster. Commander, get to your ship. Link up with the fleet.
Yes, sir.
You have the mech gun, Cortana. As soon as they come in range, open up.
Gladly.
Something's not right.
Hey, where the fuck's my award? I'm invited. Where is it, you fucking pussies?
Contacts. Boarding craft and lots of them.
They're going to try to take our mech guns offline. Give their capital ships a straight shot at Earth. Master Chief, defend this station.
Clef, not Chief. My award.
Right this way.
Well, this doesn't look like an award, but I love guns. Oh, I can dual wield. Trees in a military outpost. Who the fuck is running this military? Jesus Christ. This is where all my taxes go. Whoa. What the hell? Oh wow, yeah, that's a great Great strat. Jump into an open area while Green Tin Can mows you down with your own weapons? Yeah, I think that's effective. Ah, Jesus Christ, that's a lot. Oh, Jesus. Oh, don't mind if I do. Alright, now where's the last guy? Oh, there you are. Where are you going? Get over here. Oh, you're not dead. There you go. Never mess with an idiot. How the fuck are these guys still alive?
Sir, boarders have breached the fire control center. They have a bomb.
Can you defuse it?
Yes, but I'll need the Chief's help to make contact with the detonator.
First echelon, you're with me. Blanket
Get to the bomb. Double.
You god fucking damn it. I literally have plot armor and I keep getting called Master Chief. Grow a brain cell, you fucking idiots.
Me, inside your head, now.
Now they're inside my head, what do you think about my...
You don't want to know.
Cairo, this is an Amberclad. The carrier shield is down. I'm in position and ready for immediate assault.
Negative, Commander. Not against a ship that size. Not on your own.
Sir, permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To deliver a badass cutscene.
Permission granted.
I gotta do all this and save a four-eyed midget.
I know what you're thinking, and it's crazy.
What? I like crazy.
Unfortunately for us both, I like crazy.
Well, shit.
Just one question. What if you miss?
Nah.
Pretty good.
Chief, get inside. Gear up. We're taking this fight to the surface.
The message just repeats. Regret. Regret. Regret.
Catchy. Any idea what it means?
Dear humanity, we regret being alien bastards. We regret coming to Earth. And we most definitely regret the Corps just blew up our raggedy-ass fleet. Hoorah!
Regret is a name, Sergeant. The name of one of the Covenant's religious leaders, a prophet. He's on that carrier, and he's calling for help.
Immediate. Grid Kilo 2-3 is hot. Recommend mission abort.
Roger, Recon. It's your call, Sarge.
We're going in. Get tactical, Marines!
Master Chief, get aboard that carrier. Secure the Prophet of Regret. This is the only place on Earth the Covenant decided to land.
That prophet is going to tell us why.
Whoa.
Hey, wake up.
Shake it off, Marines!
Oh man, I hope Jerry's okay. He's got a knack for getting easily captured by aliens.
Damn, where is he? Anybody see him?
Damn it, Jerry, not again.
Swing, batter, batter, swing!
Well, that was a long-ass achievement. I've been waiting for 30 minutes! Not a single enemy has shown up. What? Oh, now you dickheads decided to show up. Get the fuck over here. Hold up, give me 1 minute. Alright, now get over here. Finally, now I can move. Oh shit, sniper. Fuck. Jesus Christ, there's so many. Fuck! This is a lot of fun. Killing a bunch of aliens. The fuck you doing in the corner? You trying to rub one out? Oh yeah, it's sport hogging time.
I'm in.
The highest concentration.
Shoot him! They're right in front of you. Are you a goddamn stormtrooper? Kill them! You know what? I'm done. I tried protecting your asses in the first game, but you keep doing stupid shit, and you're still doing it. I'm sick of this. And I have to do all the work now. Great job, you fucking Marines.
This tunnel links up to the bridge. It's full of rats, if you know what I mean. But it beats swimming.
What do you mean? This looks cleaner than all of the tunnels in my country. The future's great. They reincarnated Danny DeVito. Hell yeah. Good thing you guys aren't complete idiots like the last ones. You guys are competent, and they weren't. Like, what are you doing? You fucking trick. Jesus. They pissed on the moon, now they're pissing on the earth. That bite dude needs to chill. Jesus Christ, just explode already! Finally. I see the light. This underground tunnel's too fucking long.
It blew right through us. 50 cal rockets didn't do a thing.
I like to write that.
Where's the rest of your platoon?
Wasted, Sarge.
And we will be too, sir, if we don't get the hell out of here.
You hit Marine?
No, sir.
What about that scout?
Then listen up. You had your chance to be afraid before you joined my beloved Corps. But to guide you back to the true path, I brought this motivational device. Our big green style cannot be defeated.
What about
the
that
Chief is
scout?
gonna jump in this tank, roll across the bridge, and blow up any inhuman son of a bitch dumb enough to get between him and the Prophet of Regret. Pull yourself together, because you're going with him.
What about
When
that?
I joined the Corps, we didn't have any fancy schmancy tanks. We had sticks. 2 sticks and a rock for a whole platoon. And we had to share the rock.
What about that?
Buck up, boy. You're one very lucky Marine.
What about that?
Usually the good Lord works in mysterious ways, but not today. This here is 66 tons of straight up, H-E spewing divine intervention. If God is love, then you can call me Cupid.
What about?
What the fuck
Stay with the Master Chief. He'll know what to do.
What about that?
Thanks for the tank. He never gets me anything.
What about that?
Oh, I know what the ladies like.
Damn it, I can't fit the tank. Well, I could use some exercise. I had too many fucking onion rings. Who the fuck's driving the Puma over there? 2 ghosts? Well, suck my 2 plasma balls. What the fuck? They used to work before. Ha! Got your shit. What the fuck are you doing? Dude, they're ghosts. They're ghosts. Jesus Christ, how can you not? Oh shit! Ah, Jesus. I got an achievement. Give me your guns. Yeah. This place is too fucking dark.
Who's in charge now,
Where's the flashlight? How do I do the thing again? Ah, there we go.
Come on, I'll show you.
Hold X to use terminal? What? The fuck is this? Why is it so loud? Alright. How do I do this? I gotta take down this scarab. Sounds easy. Especially with the sick beat in the background. Fuck.
That's right, you mothers! Run!
Not if we can help it, Sergeant.
Extract the chief and return to an amberclad.
Roger that. Status.
Sir, the Prophet is bugging out. Request permission to engage.
Negative, Commander. All Vector 2 heavies for Starside intercept.
Bam! Slip space rupture up the target's bow. It's going to jump inside the city.
There's no time, sir.
Green light. Green light to engage.
Punch it. Get us close.
Ma'am, without a destination solution.
We are not losing that ship.
We're drifting. Archer pods are cold. I'll need to rekey the system.
Do it and find out where we are.
Sorry for the quick jump, Sergeant. You in one piece?
I'm good. Yeah. Chief?
We're fine.
Ma'am, there's an object. Coming into view now.
Cortana, what exactly am I looking at?
That is another Halo.
Say what?
So this is what my father found. I thought Halo was some sort of super weapon.
It is, if activated, this ring will cause destruction on a galactic scale.
Wait, the thing I need to save that virgin is somewhere there. What a perfect coincidence.
I don't care if I have the clearance or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's our target?
The enemy ship is stopped above the ring, ma'am. We're going to pass right over it.
Perfect. Given what we know about this ring, it's even more important that we capture the Prophet of Regret. Find out why he came to Earth, why he came here.
Chief, take first platoon. Hard drop. Secure our landing zone. Sergeant, load up 2 flights of Pelicans and follow them in.
Aye, aye, ma'am.
Until I can move and fight, I'm going to keep a low profile. Once you leave the ship, you're on your own.
I told you to stop that.
Over the target in 5.
Hang on to your helmet. Mind the bump. Could we possibly make any more noise?
What the fuck do you think?
I guess so.
Whoa, look at this place. Look at that tree. It's so beautiful. And that rock too. Now back to killing. Oh, you want some too, huh? Boom! Ah, shit. Which weapons should I pick up? That should do it. Wow. Imagine if humanity made something like that. I'd stare at the sky for hours. Hop in, boys. We're gonna drive the natives out this ring. Dude, where the hell am I supposed to go? Is it this way? Oh no, that's where I'm supposed to go.
Kicking ass in outer space. Wish you were here. I heard that. Jackass. Get each other's backs, people.
You don't want the tank. I guess we'll leave it for the other.
What? There's a tank? I missed a tank in the last game. I ain't missing another one again. This is fine. I walk a lonely room with 2 SMG. I need to get my rhyming game up. Hello there. Jeez, you guys suck. You can't guard shit.
Wait, go back. That's what I thought he said. The Prophet of Regret is planning to activate Halo.
You can translate gibberish?
Hamburger, 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 hum. Hamburger, 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 hum. Hamburger, 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 hum.
Pretty much.
He thinks that the foreskin alien wants burgers.
So I hear. But from what I understand, the Prophet will need an object, the Index, to activate the ring. I've located a library similar to the one you found on the first Halo. If the rings work the same way, the Index should be inside.
I'll bet the Covenant are thinking the exact same thing.
Then we better beat them to it, Sergeant. Extract your men and meet me at the library.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll secure the Index, Chief.
One more chore, then I'll save that no-life virgin.
All the intel we need.
Enemy. Where? Wait, why am I aiming with a sword? Alright, men. We're going on a little field trip. I haven't had a field trip since Reach. I really miss that planet, especially Jerry. No wait, is that Joe? Fucking flies! Come on, it's fucking October! Wakey wakey, Toblerones. This thing likes anything with a hole. Dude, there's 2 hunters and I'm out of ammo. Hey, Thanks, man. Another field trip. Hopefully there ain't any more flies. When the Fred fuck hit me? And if it wasn't you, give me that. What hit me? Ah, fuck, the flies are evolving. What the fuck is with the music? I'm just walking. See them? They're already dead. Well, except for that guy. I think. There are no more
That's the largest Covenant fleet I've ever seen.
You said that before they appeared. You're fucking crazy.
Get inside the temple and kill regret before it can stop us.
I'm not even gonna bother. Boom! These Savants got terrible security against rockets. Oh, wait, is that? It's a foreskin alien. Boom! Boom! Come here!
There's the target. Take him out.
This is why I got circumcised. Ah, come here, man. Alright, come here. Your boss is dead and now you're getting the promotion. This is a good day for you. I'm never watching Independence Day ever again. Fuck, 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 fuck. Superhero landing. Dude, this is the slowest laser beam ever in history. How am I running this shit? Cannonball!
This is not your grave, but you are welcome in it.
Jesus, I just finished watching The Boys. You don't know how this is making me feel.
What is that?
I am a monument to all your sins.
Gross. That's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you? Hey, I may have the same voice as the guy I'm trying to say, but that doesn't mean I can fall asleep watching our cutscenes. You know you could recap what just happened to you for plot exposition. Wow, I literally don't remember you being mentioned in that episode. Who could have guessed that?
When we joined the Covenant, we took an oath.
According to our station, all without exception.
On the blood of our fathers, on the blood of our sons, we swore to uphold the Covenant.
Even to our dying breath.
Those who would break this oath are heretics, worthy of neither pity nor mercy. Even now, they use our Lord's creations to broadcast their lies.
We shall grind them into dust.
And continue our march to glorious salvation. This armor suits you, but it cannot hide that mark. You are the arbiter, the will of the prophets. But these are my elites. Their lives matter to me, yours does not. That makes two of us.
Leader, there is no doubt the storm will strike the facility. We'll be long gone before it arrives.
stench. I've smelled it before.
This will save me from the storm, but you will be consumed.
Arbiter, where is he?
Stinking floodmate boxed himself in tight. We'll never break through this.
How?
Arbiter, I would rather die by your hand than let the prophets lead me to slaughter.
Hello, I am 343 Guilty Spark. I am the monitor of Installation 04.
Ask the Oracle about Halo. How they would sacrifice us all for nothing.
More questions? Splendid. I would be happy to assist you.
The elites are blind, Arbiter. But I will make them see.
Unfortunate. His edification was most enjoyable. Oracle, great journey. Why do you meddlers insist on using such inaccurate verbiage?
So it is. Come, we are leaving this system.
You know, maybe your species isn't doing anything. That's probably why you're treating you like that.
This is unprecedented. Unacceptable.
A hierarch is dead, Commander.
His murderer was within our grasp. If you had not withdrawn our phantoms...
Are you questioning my decision?
No, Holy One. I only wish to express my concern that the brutes...
Recommissioning the Guard was a radical step. But recent events have made it abundantly clear that the elites can no longer guarantee our safety.
I shall relay your decision to the Council.
Politics, how tiresome. Do you know, Arbiter, the elites have threatened to resign? To quit. quit the High Council because of this exchange of hats. These are trying times for all of us.
Even as the humans' annihilation filled us with satisfaction, the loss of one of the sacred rings racked our hearts with grief.
Putting aside our sorrow, we renewed our faith in the prophecy that other rings would be found, and see how our faith has been rewarded.
Halo, its divine wind will rush through the stars, propelling all who are worthy along the path to salvation.
But how to start this process? For ages we searched for one who might unlock the secrets of the rings. An oracle. And with your help, we found it.
With appropriate humility, we plied the oracle with questions, and it, with clarity and grace, has shown us the key.
You will journey to the surface of the ring and retrieve this sacred icon. With it, we shall fulfill our promise.
Salvation for all.
And begin the great journey.
Once the shield is down, we will head straight to the library. I do not wish to keep the Hierarchs waiting. Who do you think? Why? Looking for a little payback? Of course.
Have you not considered the fact that you ordered on Amazon, of all places?
We shall cut into the heart of this infestation, retrieve the icon, and burn any flood that stand in our way. The parasite is not to be trifled with. I hope you know what you're doing.
Bro, what the fuck?
More humans. On your way, Arbiter. I'll deal with these beasts.
Please stop!
Gotcha.
You know, your father never asked me for help either.
The index is secure.
Mackenzie, Perez, how's our exit? You hear me, Marines? We got trouble.
How you doing?
Johnson, you all right? Johnson!
Excellent work, Arbiter. The hierarchs will be pleased. Was your responsibility. Now it is mine. A bloody fate awaits you and the rest of your incompetent race. And I, Tartarus, chieftain of the brutes, will send you to it. When they learn. Fool. They ordered me to do it.
That's a fucking terrible story.
This one is machine and nerve, and has its mind concluded.
You mean retarded?
This one is but flesh and faith, and is the more deluded. There is much talk, and I have listened through rock and metal and time. Now I shall talk, and you shall listen.
Greetings. I am 2401 Penitent Tangent. I am the monitor of Installation 05.
And I am the Prophet of Regret, Counselor Most High, Hierarch of the Covenant.
A reclaimer? Here? At last. We have
Reclaimer?
much to do. This facility must be...
Dude, I got PTSD just coming from here right now. I don't want to talk about the library.
Can be done until my sermon is complete.
Not true. This installation has a successful utilization record of 1.2 trillion simulated and 1 actual. It is ready to fire on demand.
Of all the objects our lords left behind, there are none so worthless as these oracles. They know nothing of the great journey!
And you know nothing about containment. You have demonstrated complete disregard for even the most basic protocols.
This one's containment. And this one's great journey are the same. Your prophets have promised you freedom from a doomed existence. But you will find no salvation on this ring. Those who built this place knew what they wrought. Do not mistake their intent, or all will perish as they did before.
Tentacles is right. The Halo onion rings were a bad idea to begin with. Your people are making a big mistake. You really are retarded.
If you will not hear the truth, then I will show it to you. There is still time to stop the key from turning. But first it must be found. You will search one likely spot, and you will search another. Fate had us meet as foes. But this ring will make us brothers.
We are, all of us, gravely concerned. The release of the parasite was unexpected, unfortunate, but There is no need to panic. In truth, this is a time to rejoice. A moment that all the Covenant should savor. For the sacred icon has been found. With it, our path is clear, our entry into the divine beyond guaranteed. The great journey is nigh, and nothing, not even the flood, can stop it.
Can't you believe it? They're bringing back Rain, the new Star Wars trilogy. Why am I not shooting? This is great!
Demon!
Cliff! You idiot! You're making a plot hole! Shoot! Oh great, now they escape. And I gotta deal with these fucking monkeys. That sounded terrible.
The better.
I don't want to talk about it.
They don't have shield generators, but take them out.
Oh god. Yep.
It's
I
berserk.
deserve that. Dude, I've been here for... Jeez. That guy went flying.
That prophet.
Hey,
Truth,
Siri.
He has the index.
Siri.
You've got to take it from
Yada yada yada. Open the door, please. I want to get out of here. Alright. Down the anus.
Jump in.
But I jumped. I sat down. There we go.
There are 2 groups of Marines in this detention block. I'll zero their locations. You neutralize the guards. Quietly.
I'm doing a great job so far. Hack and slash time, baby. Now where are those brutes? Jeez. Okay, I'm just gonna go. There they are.
At this moment, the Councilors gather on Halo to see the icon safely placed.
Dude, there's so fucking many. Let me in your goddamn base.
If we're going to catch Truth, we'll need to take a
For the love of God, stop shooting me. I'm not even shooting. I'm just making my way through.
More interested in killing?
Yeah, don't. I told you to not shoot me. Please. I just want to finish this goddamn mission. God, fuck! I've killed so many of you before. At this point, you should be running your asses out of this place. You guys even called me.
Split them up. One in each phantom.
You know, you're gonna die yet. You can still do it. What's wrong with you? Now I understand why you're so angry.
The hopes of all the Covenant rest on your shoulders, Chieftain.
My faith is strong. I will not fail.
Let him be. The great journey waits for no one, brother. Not even you.
The rings, Arbiter. The Councilors, are they... Fire, disloyal beasts. The prophets were fools to trust them.
Earth to finish what I started. And this time, none of you will be left behind.
Cool monologue. Bitch ass.
That structure in the center of the city, it's a Forerunner ship.
Yeah, no kidding.
And Truth is heading straight for it. If he leads the Covenant fleet to Earth, they won't stand a chance. You have to stop him.
King Kong's got the plot device, and the commander in Johnson. He can end Halo 2 on a cliffhanger.
If he does, I'll detonate in Emberclad's reactor just like we did the Autumns. The blast will destroy this city and the ring. Not a very original plan, but we know it'll work. No, I don't want to chance a remote detonation. I need to stay here.
Loki!
Chief, when you get to Earth, good luck.
After I burn every on your ring.
Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it.
I don't know what that means. I never touch a girl.
Where the counselors were meant to watch the consecration of the icon, the start of the great journey.
There is still time to stop the key from turning.
Then mount up, Arbiter. I know a way to break those doors. Over this way.
Listen, you don't like me and I sure as hell don't like you. But if we don't do something, Mr. Mohawk's gonna activate this ring. And we're all gonna die.
Well, I just happen to have a key.
Come on, grab a banshee and give me some cover. Gotta know we're coming.
easy. Take the icon in your hands and do as you are told.
Please use caution. This reclaimer is delicate.
One more word, Oracle, and I'll rip your eye from its socket. Which is nothing compared to what I'll do to you. Impossible. Put it down and disobey the hierarchs? Take care, Arbiter. What you say is heresy.
Collectively, the Savant...
Not another word.
Please. Don't shake the light bulb. If you want to keep your brain inside your head, I tell those boys to chill. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Weapons of last resort, built by the Forerunners to eliminate potential flood hosts, thereby rendering the parasite harmless. After exhausting every other strategic option, my creators activated the rings. They and all additional sentient life in 3 radii of the galactic center died as planned. Would you like to see the relevant data?
Yes, us yams it, but I did it. No, Arbiter. The great journey has begun, and the brutes, not the elite, shall be the Prophet's escort.
And his name is John C.
What's that?
A beacon.
What's it doing?
Communicating at superluminal speeds with the frequency of...
Communicating with what?
The other installations.
Show me.
Fail-safe protocol. In the event of unexpected shutdown, the entire system will move to standby status. All remaining platforms are now ready for remote activation.
Remote activation? From here?
Don't be ridiculous.
Listen, Tinkerbell, don't make me...
Then where? Where would someone go to activate the other rings?
Why the Ark? Of course.
We
got a new contact. Unknown classification.
It isn't one of ours. Take it out.
I'm on the ship. Are you not watching the goddamn cutscenes?
Isolate that signal. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this episode on a cliffhanger.
Silence fills the empty grave now that I have gone. But my mind is not at rest, for questions linger on. I will ask, and you will answer.
All right. Shoot.